So what does this show have to do with decentering men? I will do my best to not give any spoilers for those of you who are watching, but I want to specify it's not so much this show specifically, but this type of show, these kinds of competition shows more specifically. So first, what is this? So this is Rhythm and Flow season 2. Rhythm and Flow is a competition music show for amateur, aka up and coming, rappers from across the United States. They bring them through a series of challenges that are meant to fine tune and test their lyrical and musical and professional abilities as it relates to the rap scene. Now, I have a couple of thoughts because some what I would consider not okay things happened during this specific season. But I started watching the season finale. I will not say who wins. But I started watching the season finale, and I just had a feeling that things were going to go upside down, aka who I believe should be the winner would not win. Was that true? Yes. Why do I think that they should have been the winner? I personally enjoyed their rap styling, and I think that there was a level of maturity throughout how they handled themselves. Now, this is not to say that, the person who won was not talented. I think the person who won was incredibly talented, but I also think that the person who won, similar to how a lot of women, young girls, enter into the dating scene or enter into romantic relationships with men, this person who won was underprepared and is now thrust into a space that could eat them alive. Oh, Shayna, you're being so dramatic. It's not that serious. Before I became a journalist, before I entered YouTube, I was a professional actor. I have a master's degree in this. I have traveled and performed in Moscow and Poland and in Boston and in Los Angeles. I have been in commercial. I have worked in the entertainment industry. And before any of that, I have a double bachelor's degree, one of which is in the music industry. There is a reason why I do not work in the music industry. But having this background in music industry and in entertainment in general, even though I studied this for 2 years and nobody taught me about the business of this. There, you could have all of the art and all of the talent and all of the potential and all of the beautiful flowery things that we should be solely focusing on. But unfortunately, in these kinds of systems like the entertainment industry, think of Diddy, like the acting industry, think of Weinstein, like patriarchy, think of men. In the same way that many, many young women and femmes are put in situations where their lives are on the line, they feel like, oh my God, all of a sudden their stomach drops because it's like, I don't know what to do in this situation. I am underprepared. Yeah, that's just how these systems want you to be. And I'm not saying that that's how these three set up any of these wins, any of the winner. No, no, no. Actually, for me to better explain this, let me talk about the season 1 winner. So this is D Smoke. Objectively, in my opinion, look at the face, look at the jaw structure. Like, good for you. Outside of him being incredibly talented, he was also older. I think he was in his 30s when he won. He had a long career. He also is, I think it was a Spanish teacher, so he's fluent in English and Spanish. And he comes from a family of musicians. I think his brother is Sir, but then also in the season finale, or one of something like that of season 1, just before he wins, you hear a little bit more of his story and of his family's story. So one of the big things is that he comes from a family of professional musicians, and he really focused in on his mom. And I think that's for the best because they started saying some stuff about dad. That is for long story short, his mom used to be a background singer for like Aretha Franklin and for Michael Jackson and for all of the big leagues, right? And her career was going up and up and up. But then she had 3 kids and her husband went to jail. So she had to stop all of those things that were happening in her career so that way she could focus on home and raising the kids. And now he's out of jail and they seem to be one big old happy family. I do not know these people, but that's what it seems. And she passed on her love of music, her natural talent, and her love of music, and her knowledge of the industry itself and how to navigate it as a marginalized person. She passed on that information to her sons. And so her sons are now able to navigate this volatile industry because they have information that other people are absolutely not privy to. So when you consider this, and then you jump to season two, and you think about how the winner of season two just does not, they're while they have all of the talent in the world, I'm not gonna say all the talent in the world, there's other, while they are incredibly talented, there is so much information that this young person simply does not have. And not just because they were not taught explicitly by people in the music industry about how to navigate this field and stay safe, but literally life experience. There's just so much that this person has not lived and dealt with that was personally apparent to me throughout the show. But now they're given this massive record deal, hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest into there. Now that people are going to be, there's blood in the water, basically. And this person probably never learned how to swim. And this happens all the time in these kinds of shows where people that are wonderfully talented, incredibly sweet, giving, and naive to the industry, they win American Idol, America's Got Talent, whatever else, this kind of show. And now all of a sudden they are put in a position where they are essentially on their own in a space that they don't realize at this time just how dangerous it is. Now, what does this have to do with decentering men? This is one of the main ways that the patriarchy works. It puts young girls into positions where they are encouraged to not be taught the realities of men and how to navigate these systems because, oh no, you have to get a husband, you have to get a boyfriend, you have to have kids, you have to do. So there's a lot of information about not just how dangerous a lot of these interactions are. Being with a man is like the number one killer of women. I think other than like naturally passing away, I think it's men. I think it's men. Just look up domestic violence statistics in whatever country you are in. So imagine with me for a minute. There is a young girl who is hilarious and engaging and has a bright essence. And oh my goodness, there's so much. She should be on in movies and in TV shows and da da da. And everybody's just pushing her forward, but not creating the parameters to keep her safe. Not just people creating those parameters because she's a young girl, but also giving her the information of this is how you can tell a good person from a bad person in this industry. Nobody's thinking that. They're centering what they think success would be for her. And years go by, and then really bad things happen, and she's trying to keep her head above water, and things just continue to spiral and continue to spiral, and you can insert almost any of the young women, or well, not young women at this point, they're basically my age, but any of the women that grew up on like Disney Clubhouse or all that, or think of a child star, right? And consider how their lives are at this point. Decentering men and decentering conservative ideas of success, money, power, a man. Moving those things away, let me think this through. Okay, decentering them then creates the space to understand them in reality because we have to deal with all those things anyway. We just don't have to center it so that way we could see objectively what it is and how to participate and if we want to participate in the safest way possible. And that goes for power, that goes for opportunities, and that definitely goes for men. Let me know if any of this is making sense because it makes sense to me, but I also had a gummy. So I'm going to talk to you guys later. Bye.